Yawning, too much isn't normal. Your brain might be starving for oxygen. Do you find yourself yawning constantly even though you've had enough rest? Is it more frequent than usual, and it doesn't seem to have any specific reason? Yawning may seem like a harmless reflex, but excessive yawning could be a sign that your brain is lacking oxygen. While it's common to yawn when you're tired, the body can also signal for help through yawning if the brain is not receiving enough oxygen. This is particularly relevant as we get older. Our bodies change in ways that we don't always notice, from blood flow to how well the lungs perform. If yawning becomes frequent without a clear reason, it could be your body trying to alert you to a serious underlying health issue. Let's dive deeper into what these frequent yawns could mean and how they might be connected to your brain, heart, and overall health. 1. Yawning constantly without being tired, your brain could be running out of oxygen. Most people associate yawning with being sleepy or bored, and it's not uncommon to doze off after a long, tiring day. But what happens if yawning becomes constant and persists even after you've had a full night's sleep? If this happens, especially as we age, it's time to pay closer attention. The body's reflex to yawn is not only triggered by tiredness, but also by a lack of oxygen. As we age, our lungs don't expand as efficiently, our hearts don't pump as vigorously, and blood flow to the brain decreases. This all contributes to a reduction in oxygen levels reaching the brain. The brain, in response, triggers frequent yawns to help bring in more oxygen and maintain cognitive functions. However, this can signal a problem. If you're finding yourself yawning more than usual, especially without feeling tired or sleepy, it could be a sign that your cardiovascular or respiratory system is not operating at its best. Yawning could even be a subtle warning sign of early cognitive decline, so don't brush it off. Make sure to discuss this with your healthcare provider to rule out any serious underlying conditions, such as heart disease or issues with blood oxygenation. 2. Yawning during everyday tasks. It might be early signs of oxygen desaturation. Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk, walking around your home, or even standing to make a cup of tea, yet you're yawning uncontrollably. This might not just be a result of boredom or tiredness. If yawning happens frequently during normal daily tasks, it could signal a more concerning issue: oxygen desaturation. For older adults, especially those with underlying lung or heart conditions, oxygen levels can drop even with light activity. When this happens, your brain struggles to get enough oxygen to keep up with the demands of the body. The result? Yawning becomes a compensatory mechanism, a reflex designed to take in more air, more oxygen to nourish the brain. If this becomes a daily occurrence, it could indicate that your body isn't getting the oxygen it needs during even light physical exertion. Don't ignore it. Yawning during simple tasks can be an early sign of poor circulation, respiratory issues, or heart problems. Consult with your doctor to check your oxygen saturation levels, and consider a walking oximetry test to determine if oxygen deficiency is causing this excessive yawning. 3. Yawning before physical activity. Your body might be signaling a cardiovascular issue. Have you ever found yourself yawning just before physical activity, even when it's something as simple as getting out of bed or walking to the kitchen? This could be more than just a sign of tiredness. It may indicate that your cardiovascular system is struggling to keep up with the demands of your body. When you engage in any physical activity, the heart works harder to pump blood and deliver oxygen to muscles and organs, including the brain. However, if your heart isn't functioning properly, it may struggle to meet these demands. As a result, your brain doesn't receive enough oxygen to maintain its normal functions, and yawning becomes your body's reflexive way to compensate for the lack of oxygen. As we age, particularly after the age of 65, our cardiovascular system naturally weakens. The heart becomes less efficient at pumping blood, and blood vessels may narrow, which reduces oxygen flow to the brain. If you're yawning frequently before or during even light physical exertion, it could signal a larger issue with your cardiovascular health. such as early stages of heart disease or poor circulation. Ignoring this sign can lead to more severe health issues, like stroke, heart failure, or cognitive decline. It's important to speak to your doctor to investigate your heart's health, check your blood pressure and cholesterol levels, and ensure that your circulatory system is working effectively. The sooner you address these issues, the better you can prevent serious health complications down the road. 4. Is yawning affecting your social interactions? It could impact your brain's performance. Yawning is often considered a harmless reflex, but it can have a significant impact on how we perform in social situations. Imagine being in a conversation or a meeting and constantly yawning. Not only can this be embarrassing, but it also affects how alert and engaged you appear to others. If yawning begins to disrupt your ability to engage with people or focus during important conversations, it's a sign that your brain may not be functioning as well as it should. Yawning, especially when it's excessive, is typically caused by the brain's need for more oxygen. When the brain struggles to get the oxygen it needs, it triggers yawning as a way to increase airflow and improve mental alertness. This lack of oxygen could be linked to cardiovascular or respiratory issues, such as obstructed airways, reduced lung capacity, or inefficient heart function. If you find yourself yawning excessively, even in the middle of engaging activities, it might reflect a more profound issue with your cognitive health. As we get older, cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's can impact how our brain functions, and yawning may be an early symptom. It's also important to note that prolonged yawning can disrupt concentration, impair memory, and negatively affect decision-making abilities. If yawning is starting to impact your social interactions or work life, it's crucial to consult a healthcare provider. They can assess your cognitive health and recommend exercises or lifestyle changes to ensure your brain is getting the oxygen and stimulation it needs to function properly. Early intervention can help preserve mental clarity and improve your quality of life. 5. Excessive yawning could be a sign of underlying neurological conditions. Although yawning is typically a sign of tiredness or boredom, when it becomes excessive and frequent, especially without any clear reason, it could signal a deeper issue within your brain. Neurological conditions like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, or even brain tumors can cause frequent yawning. These conditions affect the brain's ability to regulate various bodily functions, including the autonomic processes that control breathing, blood flow, and body temperature. When your brain is not functioning optimally due to these conditions, it may trigger excessive yawning as a way to increase oxygen levels or try to improve circulation. In some cases, yawning may also be linked to changes in the brain's neurotransmitter balance. If you've been experiencing frequent yawning along with other symptoms such as memory loss, difficulty moving, tremors, or a change in mood, it's essential to seek medical help immediately. These could be early signs of a neurological disorder that requires prompt diagnosis and treatment. It's also important to note that yawning could be a symptom of a brain injury or stroke, especially if it occurs suddenly and without warning. While yawning alone may not be enough to diagnose these conditions, it's a key symptom that should be reported to your doctor. By catching these potential issues early, you can take steps to manage the condition, slow its progression, and maintain a better quality of life. Regular checkups, cognitive assessments, and brain scans are effective tools in identifying neurological conditions and preventing long-term damage. Excessive yawning may seem like a trivial matter, but when it occurs frequently and without a clear cause, it's a sign that your body might be signaling for help. From oxygen deprivation to early signs of neurological diseases, yawning is more than just a reflex. It's a message from your body to pay attention. Especially as we age, it's important to listen to these signs and take action to maintain our brain, heart, and overall health. If yawning is becoming a regular part of your day, don't hesitate to speak with a healthcare professional. A thorough checkup could help identify any underlying issues before they develop into something more serious. Remember, addressing health concerns early can make all the difference in maintaining a healthy, active life as you grow older.